Hello everybody and welcome back to RogueTech, where we are working on our guillotines. We want to just finish those up, I think. Let's just go ahead and do that. We'll hit this financial report. I'm not concerned about it. Let's go. We've got plenty of cash. Financial report, boom, no problem. We accept this. Yes, it's bankruptcy projected, but we are not concerned in the slightest. We've got lots of time. 3 days on the guillotine here. Let's do it. Finish that up. Excellent. Letters from home. Okay. It's from a long-distance lover back home. It's a breakup letter. We could consider Scrub's morale, or we could just give it to him, and we should just give it to him. He's in low spirits, but he'll be fine. He'll get over it. Okay, let's double-check that all of our mechs are repaired. And they are. That is fantastic. So let's do what we need to for Mech Warrior promotions. Anything that we need at all. Yep, Arclight could use a point of tactics. That is fine. Bearclaw actually gets a point of gunnery. Now what has he been driving? Can we get a tooltip? Maybe? There we go. Well, that's not helpful. I'm going to give him Warlord here. I don't actually know what he's been driving. He doesn't have useful affinities, so I guess we'll just give him Warlord as kind of a default. Okay, Falcon, you can grab a point of piloting. That'll be great. Kodiak, absolutely a point of gunnery. That is so good. Anything else? Scrub can grab a point of piloting. He is, of course, still in low spirits after being broken up with, but we kind of don't care. Squib can grab a point of guts, and Tarbox and Woody are both fine, so let's hop into the command center and see what we have available. Now, it does bear noting that I've been getting some messages from the, I think it's not Galaxy at War. It's the online component of RogueTech, right? And I forget what it's called. But I've been getting messages that the season is coming to an end as of today. Apparently, our career will remain playable, but will no longer be able to affect the map until the start of a mini-season 1.5, at which point there will be a soft reset of the planets, and then our campaign will be able to re-affect the map, and then there will be a Season 2 eventually, and I don't know if the career will remain playable at that point. But if it doesn't, then we'll probably start a new series. So that'll be interesting. This is a priority mission? No, this is a capture base. So with all that said, I think maybe we run like this one. What's the salvage look like? Straight down the middle? Or actually, maybe we sit here. Yeah, I like this. We'll do this. This is against Clan Diamond Shark, but, you know, that's fine. So instead of the Centurion, we'll bring in the Guillotine. The question is, Arclight doesn't have any Guillotine affinities. Do we have anybody who does? Blaze does. So we'll bring Blaze instead of Arclight. Sure. Otherwise, we're good to go. Let's do this. So this is a capture base mission. This does, of course, mean we could run into, like, 30 railgun turrets. We're not going to run into 30 railgun turrets. The most we could run into would be 4. 4 would be devastating. Oh, that'd be rough. Regardless, I think we'd be able to handle it at this point. We'd just break LOS and batter them down with indirects. Like, it would be okay. But we're probably not going to hit that. We're probably going to be up against 2 lances and a group of turrets, is my guess. We could see, or actually, this is Clan Diamond Shark. 2 stars and a group of turrets. But we need to capture the Diamond Shark research station. We've long suspected that there's a Diamond Shark research station hidden in the Ashcombe system, and we've finally gotten word of its possible location. We need a few brave and plausibly deniable mercenaries to secure the location for a dropship extraction of any valuable scientific personnel. Commander, plausible deniability is our specialty. Indeed it is. And so we are going to deploy here. Well, not here, probably. We'll deploy a little bit closer to the base if we can, but I'm guessing... Oh, wow, it'll let us deploy here. This is an amazing deployment spot. We've got an LOS break here. We've got potentially shots on the turrets at the very get-go. No, we don't have shots at the turret at the very get-go. But this is a great spot. We can control our cover on this approach, or we can break LOS and dash into this cover. I really like this location. Let's go. With any luck, enemies won't spawn right behind us, but they probably will. That hasn't been happening for a little while, though, so that's good. Now, our Jaeger is going to... I think our Juggernauts are going to head for these over here, and our vehicles and our Cavalry Lance are going to head this way. And our Nidhogg will just head straight over. But yeah, I think that the Jaeger will head on over here.
Double time. Let's go.
Now, I'm not too concerned about reserving right now because we don't have any eyes on. However, our Nidhogg should probably move up here. It's going to take blistering fire, most likely, from the turrets at the least. Yeah, that's a good view of the research facility. Yep, it does have gun emplacements. We already knew that, Darius. Thank you very much. So we see a hardened Gauss, a heavy streak LRM turret, a heavy turret chassis, and a heavy turret chassis. I think that hardened Gauss emplacement and heavy streak LRM emplacement are probably the more threatening ones. We're going to immediately open up on the heavy streak LRM turret, and we're going to fire on this one because the snub-nosed PPC has a better hit chance on it. That was some good armor reduction on that. I'm pretty pleased with that. Our guillotine is going to sprint up over here. We can't quite get into LOS. That's fine. Yep. Our second guillotine is going to follow as best as it can, but there's a bunch of juggernauts between it and the exit. I probably should deploy that differently. We're going to take the J. Edgar all the way up to here as a distraction. It may die, but it also may not. I'm wondering where the enemies are. All we see right now are turrets.
Giving them everything I've got.
Okay, there's another 55 damage to that. That'll do.
Commander?
The archer will step up here, and we're going to drop missiles onto this guy. That's only 16%. I was hoping it'd be a little bit higher. Firing blind, fair enough. I'm not going to fire that.
Ready for orders.
The sorcerer is going to step up, and we're probably going to go for the Gauss emplacement because we're pretty close into the other one.
Confirmed. Firing.
That was two absolutely terrible shots.
Nothing.
I noticed. That was abysmal shooting.
Commander?
The harasser is going to make his way up, and we're going to position here once again as a distraction. And we're going to light this up with our single target heavy flamers. This will likely kill the streak LRM turret. Not quite a kill. Okay, that's fine. The imp is going to sprint forward over here.
Pedal to the metal.
And we're going to move up with our Dragon Slayer as well. Sprint as far forward as we can.
Yes, boss.
Our Marauder, same story. What else? Our Maxim. Yes, our Maxim is going to make its way up over to here, unobstructed LOS on the LRM turret, and we're going to light it up with Inferno SRMs. And that's a kill.
One less turret.
Okay, so now we regret our life choices. Actually, that worked fine. It did manage to get an explosive pod onto the J. Edgar.
Okay, that hurt. Losing armor left and right here.
Huh. Okay, so we now know that this is a long Tom turret. Oh, hello. We now also know that this is a heavy shredder turret, which means that all four of these turrets are threatening to us, but I'm wondering if the enemies don't spawn until we actually occupy the station. Which would be interesting to be sure. The archer is going to step forward, and 32.7, 32.7, and 27.0. We're going to go for the long Tom with our indirect fire. Okay, we got some armor shred there, but not a ton. in all honesty. We're going to sprint up the road here with our Jaeger. The only one that the Jaeger can shoot at is the Heavy Shredder, but this was, of course, exactly what we expected. That was 2 absolutely abysmal shots. Okay. But really, that Long Tom didn't do that much to the J. Edgar. If the Long Tom had attacked here, it would have been devastating. But it didn't. And so we're happy. We're going to sprint in with the Victor to this position here. And this gives us a decent shot at the hardened Gauss emplacement, which we're absolutely taking with the Ultra AC-20. That was a lot of damage that we just output onto that. I'm very happy with that.
Yeah?
This guillotine is going to sprint forward to here. This is the best location that we can be at, unfortunately. Going to put the binary laser into 2x mode.
Confirmed.
Do we get the second hit? Nope, we do not. Okay, that's fine. Next up, the secondary guillotine. We're going to move that guillotine up to here.
Got it.
And we're going to continue working on the Heavy Shredder turret.
Copy that, Commander.
Some reasonable damage reduction there. I can't help but notice we're busily leveling the base we're supposed to capture. I'm sure it'll be fine. The Marauder is going to sprint up to here, and the question is, do we go for the hardened Gauss emplacement, or do we go for the Heavy Shredder turret? And the obvious answer is the Gauss emplacement. There's no question there, really. We got a lot of good crits there, but sadly not a kill. The Harasser is going to come over to the Long Tom emplacement, and we're going to light this guy up. That's a lot of damage. Very nice.
Good to go.
The Nidhogg is going to make its way up over here and finish off the hardened Gauss emplacement. I'm not going to drop bomb racks here. Excellent. 2 down.
Turret destroyed.
Next up is the Maxim, and the Maxim is going to come up over here. Yes, it is flames on the way. No, we don't care.
Full thrust.
Should be fine. We're going to light up the Long Tom, and this may actually kill the Long Tom. We'll see. And it's dead. That's great.
Reporting. Turret eliminated.
Next up, the Sorcerer will step up. Nope. The Sorcerer will step up to here. There we go. And we're going to go ahead and drop our Arrow 4s on the Heavy Shredder turret.
On it.
Decent armor shred there. That'll work.
Orders.
The J. Edgar is going to head up to the Shredder turret. This may end up killing it, but that's okay. The J. Edgar, not the Shredder turret. This is not going to kill the Shredder turret, to be clear. But that's completely fine if it does. The Imp will step up over here. It's obstructed LOS, but I think we'll be okay. Okay-ish.
Time to die.
Oof, I think we may have backstabbed with our Gauss. No, just an obstruction. Actually, the J. Edgar shockingly survived the Ultra Autocannon.
We can do this. Let's go.
I'm completely flabbergasted that that happened.
Waiting for orders.
I'm going to use the Nidhogg to come over here and finish this off. I don't want to use additional flamers on the Harasser if I can at all help it. There we go.
That turret is gone.
So the question is,
I'm here.
if we do this, where are the enemies?
What do you need?
That is a question. We're going to move up with our bigger mechs.
Roger that.
We're going to use this free time just in case there are enemies. I believe there are. And I believe they will spawn after this round. So we're going to move up. We're going to sink heat. And we're just going to try to position a bit here. Sorcerer will come up to here.
Roger.
Excellent. Just trying to move in our big boys.
Yes, Commander.
Guillotine, come on down over here.
Roger.
And finally, the Archer will need to make its way around. That's just fine. But just imagine how much damage they could have done if they actually correctly targeted their Long Tom there. That could have been insane. Like, it wouldn't have killed any of our mechs, but it would have done so much armor damage that it would have taken us weeks to repair.
Aye, aye.
Okay, the J. Edgar, this is a map edge here. Oh, we see where the dropship is inbound. This may be our dropship. We're going to move up over here for now.
Position.
It may be our dropship, so we'll have to keep that in mind. But it also may be the enemy dropship.
Ready for orders.
Dragon Slayer is going to come up over here.
Let's move.
Perfect. Sink that heat. And unjam the Ultra AC-20.
You've got hostile contacts inbound.
And here's the Diamond Shark reinforcements, I think. Okay, so it is our Archer that moves first. We're going to reserve.
Roger that. Standing by.
We are going to reserve once more.
Waiting for the right move.
Yep. Okay, so we see a Sorcerer, a Stone Rhino. We see a lot, actually. That guy runs pretty hot.
Getting banged up pretty good.
Okay, yeah, that's a Sorcerer. Dual Stone, triple Stone Rhinos, actually, and a Bane. Okay,
Receiving.
so our Sorcerer is going to step up over here. And we are going to light up this Stone Rhino in direct fire mode. Do as much as you possibly can.
Engaging with target.
That was a lot of armor shred. I'm very content with that.
Waiting for order.
Our Nidhogg is now going to move up over here. And once again, light up this Stone Rhino with as much AoE as possible.
Taking the shot.
Once again, good armor shred.
Commander.
Our J. Edgar is going to come into the rear arc over here of their Sorcerer. This is 7 evasive pips. If they destroy the J. Edgar, it's fine. We don't care.
Confirmed.
Okay, got a little heat in there. And then
Standing by.
the Dragon Slayer is going to advance over here. Can we make it to this cover? We actually can. So we're going to do so. And the question is, who do we go for? And I think the answer is the Sorcerer here. And we'll just see if we stray shot anybody. We did not, but it was worth a try. Okay, we'll see who they move next. The Stone Rhino moves up. Fires on our weakened Guillotine. Once again, that's a lot of pulse lasers.
Commander?
That's just very rude how many pulse lasers that is. We just repaired this Guillotine too. He shut himself down to do that.
Waiting for order.
Okay, our Marauder is going to position up here as an LOS block and hope that we can LOS block. And we're going to go for this Stone Rhino that shut down. I'm going to go for head hits. Okay. Who moves next? Another Stone Rhino. Okay. It hurts, but the Marauder's okay for now.
I took a critical hit.
I would rather... Did you really get crit? I don't think you got crit. I would rather that they shoot at the Marauder here than the Guillotine, absolutely.
Ready.
So the Maxim is now going to come in probably to the rear arc of this Stone Rhino. What is the actual rear armor of these guys? We don't know. Okay, well, we'll just position right behind this Stone Rhino. These guys are prone to overheating. This guy's in the water, though. And he's our best hit odds, so we'll go for him. His rear arc is reasonably strong.
We're in a full tilt.
But even so, we got a little damage in there. So now this Stone Rhino is going to move. Up he comes, and he's firing on our downed Guillotine. Ow. Very rude. Destroyed our endosteel structure. He also shut himself down to do this.
I'm taking heavy hits, Commander.
Okay. This is reasonably fine. Our Guillotine is going to advance here. And the question is, which of these do we want to go for? And I think the answer is the weakened Stone Rhino. Light him up.
Aye, aye. Engaging target.
These are definitely big boys. There's no doubt about that. Now, this guy hasn't moved yet, and I'm very concerned about him killing the guillotine before we get a chance to eject it. We sadly haven't gotten a chance to move the guillotine yet. We haven't gotten a chance to respond to this at all with the guillotine. Oh, he goes for the imp. Sure. Please, go for the imp. Please go for the imp.
That was a heavy hit, Commander.
You're fine. You're completely fine. Okay, next up
Good to go.
is the imp. The imp respawns. We're going to move up, and we're going to go for the kill on the stone rhino. Yes, we're going to take this overheat.
Firing everything I've got.
We didn't quite get the kill there, but we did a lot to him.
Ready for orders.
The archer is going to step up, and actually over here is where we're going to step with the archer. And we're going to go for the stone rhino here. Are we? Hang on. Are we going to go for the stone rhino here? I'm not convinced that we are. Our sorcerer moves phase 20. That's the same phase as this sorcerer. They've all moved now. I think we're going to go for armor shred on this sorcerer. Yeah, the hit odds aren't great, but I think it's fine. I believe we also stray shot the rear arc of the imp with our PPC, but that's fine.
Orders.
The Jaeger is going to step up to here. Once again, I think I'm not going to shoot at this stone rhino because we may be able to stray shot it. We'll go for this shutdown stone rhino and see if we can just take off that arm.
Locked on.
Good damage. We'll accept that. Our harasser is now going to come in over here. And I'd like to come in behind... Let's see here. These are all... these are both shut down. We'll just come in over here for now, and we'll go in behind the sorcerer. And look for the overheat on him.
All right.
We hit with 3 of those. So that's an overheat, all right. And what I'm going to do here is I'm honestly just going to eject the guillotine. I don't want to risk any further damage to it. Get out of here, Blaze. Okay. So with that done,
Orders.
the Nidhogg is at this point going to position here,
Moving to position.
and we're going to go for the kill on the Stone Rhino with our AoEs.
Taking the shot.
Excellent. 1 down,
Tango down.
4 to go.
I'm out
Next
of
up
short-range missiles.
is our Jaeger. Our Jaeger will step forward and will continue pummeling this weakened side arc.
All weapons. Fire.
That is a torso destruction, and that's a lot of medium pulse lasers dead on that Stone Rhino. Fantastic.
Orders.
Our Dragon Slayer, it's going to advance here. We're going to Vigilance it, and then we don't actually have any active abilities for it, but we're going to go for this Sorcerer with everything we've got other than the jammed Ultra AC-20. We're just getting in its face, trying to distract it. Okay,
Standing by.
next up, our Sorcerer. Our Sorcerer is going to go for this Stone Rhino over here. We may splash damage some of our other guys, but that's okay. I'm not going to fire the ER mediums here.
Confirmed. Firing.
Nice.
I'm under heavy fire.
You are completely fine. We haven't said that. Jinx? I think that was Jinx. You're completely fine. The guillotine is going to advance here. I do not want this Stone Rhino to move again. Kill him.
Confirmed.
I do believe that's a kill. Maybe not. That's very close. Second binary laser? That's a kill. There we go.
Tango down.
Good shooting. That's 2 Stone Rhinos dead.
Watch those heat levels.
Next, we're going to move up.
On the move.
And I suspect I'm going to Vigilance the Marauder here. It did take a lot of damage. I'm going to go for, I think, the Sorcerer. We could get maybe a knockdown on this guy. I'm going to accept this overheat.
Got it.
Wow, I was not expecting that to kill. But okay, we will happily accept that one.
Taking heat damage. Ready
Okay.
for orders.
At this point, their Bane Prime doesn't heat up very much. Their Stone Rhino does, but it is in water. But that's fine. We can move over here. The J. Edgar will likely get blown up, but if they do, that's a waste of their turn.
Taking the
We're going to soften up this rear arc, heat up the Stone Rhino a little, and that is good for now.
Commander.
The Archer will step forward, and we're going to go for the Stone Rhino again. Yeah, that Bane can hurt, but actually, I changed my mind. We're going for the Bane. Yeah, our hit odds aren't great,
Confirmed.
but we can kill that Stone Rhino with our vehicles, I'm pretty sure. He may get a chance to move, but he would anyway. Yeah, he moves now. He's going to melee attack our Victor. He missed his melee. And that's it. He didn't fire. An interesting choice,
Waiting for orders.
because now he's dead.
Coordinates received.
Okay.
Target eliminated.
So that was a thing that happened.
Yes, Commander.
And I guess our harasser is just going to park up here.
Location confirmed.
We can't get behind the Bane Prime, but we can heat him up a little. Not that this is going to do too much. It does overheat him, though, as he's entering his turn. Once again, he fires at the Imp. Doesn't get too much done there.
Yikes! That hit hard.
And his heat sinks barely sank anything. Interesting. We're going to step up with our Imp, and we're going to Warlord this, absolutely. We Warlord, and we're not going to fire the ER mediums because of the heat.
Tell me what to shoot.
The Warlord wasn't useful. Okay. Not in that situation anyway. It cranked up our hit odds a couple of %, but it's fine. I mean, other than the stricken guillotine that we never really had a chance to respond to them with, this has gone perfectly fine. I'm actually going to Warlord this for the clustering.
All weapons are go.
Okay, it didn't help, but sure.
I'm
The
here.
Dragon Slayer will advance, and we're just battering this guy's front arc right now. We'll light him up.
Engaging with target.
That was a lot of damage. Not enough, but he is unsteady now.
I'm here.
Our guillotine will step up. We do need to sink some heat, so we probably can't fire the binary laser, but we'll fire the pulse lasers.
Okay, I'm on it.
A little bit of armor reduction there. And the ER small laser unjammed. That's nice. The Nidhogg is next. And I think we don't actually care about dropping bombs here. It'll probably damage our... It'll probably damage our Victor, but I'm okay with that.
Engaging with target.
And actually, it didn't damage our Victor.
Inflicted some heavy
That's a
damage.
structure exposure, and it's probably going to be a kill. We've got multiple mechs with large crit fishes. Like this one here. That is actually not a torso. It was an arm exposed. But even so, that's a knockdown on the Bane, which means everybody moves before he gets up. Okay.
Ready for orders.
If it was out of range of the bombs, it's almost certainly not out of range of the Arrow 4, but I'm going to do it anyway. Boom. Boom. Yeah, the Arrow 4 definitely hit the Victor, but that's still a huge armor shred.
Hit. I'm under heavy fire.
You're okay. The Marauder steps up. We are concerned about our heat, to be sure, so we are not going to fire the medium pulses. Everything else is okay to fire.
Target locked in.
And that should be a dead Bane, I think. If we get good crit fishes here. We got okay crits. Not fantastic.
Reporting. Critical hit.
However, we've still got vehicles.
Standing by.
Finish him.
Locked.
That's a shutdown. Oh my. And he just panics and ejects. Fair enough. I would do the same. Let's get out of here. So yeah, the guillotine took some damage. There's no doubt about that. It'll take some time to repair. And they focused it super heavy with a lot of burst damage, and they ended up... I feel like them shutting down those stone rhinos didn't help them. Like, I feel like the death... It wasn't really a death. I feel like the ejection of our guillotine ended up being super in our favor, because they overheated themselves so much to burst down the guillotine, which kind of didn't matter in the big scheme of things. Yeah, we lost an ERPPC out of the deal. We can probably get another one. We could get a Bane. We could get a Sorcerer. We could get a Stone Rhino. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to grab the parts for a Stone Rhino. And then I'm going to not grab the Long Tom since we have one. I want to check to see... Ooh, that's a lot of Ultra AC2s. I'm going to check to see... no clan ERPPC available. That's fine. I am going to grab the Long Tom then. Excellent. So we got ourselves a couple of Bane parts, a couple of Sorcerer parts, and we got ourselves a full Stone Rhino, if we want one. Now, I believe that'll be too much tonnage for us to handle. We'll have to figure out how we would want to do that. 4 medium clan pulse lasers is nice. We got the 8 Ultra AC2s. That's nice too. Clan Cockpit will keep. SLDF Cockpit will keep. Engine Core 300 will keep that too. A Clan Heatsink Kit will keep that. And some double UAC2 ammo. We'll actually keep literally everything we got there. That was very good. So repairing the guillotine is going to be interesting, but otherwise we didn't take too much. That was not too bad. It could have been far worse. But realistically, with those stone rhinos, who were they going to kill? What option did they have other than the guillotine? Go for vehicles? I would have cared even less if they had gone for vehicles. Do long range shots on the imp? They're not going to hit. They're not going to do much at all. Even if they did, the imp wouldn't go down. I feel like it was the right call for them. Yeah, go ahead and get started on that. I feel like it was the right call for them to go for the guillotine, but then we got the ejection, and then they were in a, well, now what situation? They were just outnumbered. They didn't have the numbers. They didn't have the firepower. So let's get that guillotine repaired, shall we? I want to consider changing up the guillotine a fair amount. It is, of course, this guillotine that needs to be repaired, and that is 300k of our repair bill. We'll manually refit this. Okay, so we're currently running double heat sinks. We did end up losing 5 double heat sinks, which does hurt. That certainly does hurt. However, we could convert over to clan double heat sinks, which might not be the worst idea. I'm going to go ahead and max out this armor, and we lost endosteel structure as well. Let's drop the the regular double heat sinks, and then let's switch it over to clan DHS, like so. And then that will, of course, allow us to put in 1 additional double heat sink, and they'll take slightly fewer slots as well. We'll put them in the torsos like this. Something like that. Now, our heat efficiency is not going to be great in this, and I'm aware of this. I'm wondering if we maybe have an engine heatsink. That would be fantastic if we did. I would also not necessarily mind replacing the clan endosteel structure. That was in the right leg. Okay. I would not necessarily mind replacing the clan endosteel structure. It's expensive, but let's go ahead and do that for now. And we don't have any engine heatsink kits. I'm not surprised by this. That's fine. So we're going to have to find a little bit more of a heat-efficient way of doing this, right? Although we are currently quite heat-efficient. Maybe we just run a pure armor strip build, where the idea is that we close in a bit and strip off a ton of armor. We've got the SRM 6 streak for that. We could put the clan ERPPC back, or we could put some of those clan medium pulse lasers that we just got to work. These guys here. 1, 2, and that's actually all we can put on. So we don't technically need the endosteel structure. That does save us some cash, there's no doubt about that. And let's think here. What do we want to do with the remaining tonnage? How much heat efficiency do we have here? We've got a heat delta of 6. We could theoretically replace this medium pulse laser with a large pulse laser. That puts us slightly overweight, but that's fine. We could do, say, ferrofibrous armor. That gives us half a ton to work with. Okay. That seems pretty decent. And this is purely for armor strip and crit fishing, right? That's the entire idea here. We don't have any hand actuators, which makes me a little sad. How many slots is in MRM-20? 3? Okay, so that's not going to work. MRM-40 is way too many. I was hoping to be able to replace the SRM-6 streak, but we'll just leave that as is. And then we need to come up with something to do with half of a ton here. We could put in endosteel structure. That would give us 4 tons to work with, which would mean that we could potentially upgrade our clan medium pulse laser here. Actually, I would want to upgrade this medium pulse laser, potentially up to a large pulse laser. What is the tonnage of a large pulse? 7? Okay, so we'd need 1 more ton to make that happen. Yeah, I don't think we're really going to do that. We could just do a large laser, but I'd rather have a pulse in this situation. Yeah, we'd have to sink a ton somehow, and our heat efficiency is kind of bad. So I'm going to drop that large pulse laser, and we'll put a medium clan pulse laser back on. And then we'll drop the endosteel structure. The ferrofibrous is 1.8 tons. Maybe we can get a sensor package in here, or something along those lines. We've got a clan FCS that we should probably put in. That's, of course, not going to be any weight. There's an advanced jammer sensor here. SLDF sensors wouldn't be awful. That is a 1-ton package. Except it doesn't actually change it. That's fine. I mean, we could put an IFF in here. Sure. May as well. Let's see. Increased sensor and sight range for the Lance? We'll put a slick suite in. Sure. I'm completely okay with that. Unfortunately, none of that actually uses up half a ton. We could just toss in potentially another half ton of SRM ammo. SRM streak ammo, of course. We could. We'd have to drop weight, though, because I don't have a half ton of that. Sad. But that is something we could potentially do. We could drop off a little bit of weight in our armor. Something like this. And then put that maybe back in the CT. Like that. It's a little awkward, but I think it'll do. That'll take 20 days, but that'll be fine. And with that, it is time to put a cut in here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. And next episode, we'll get some repairs done and get ourselves some additional funding. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and I will see you all next time.